I'm doing some work on the F550 here, and I'm putting on a water pressure gauge so that I can tell how much coolant pressure is in the system. And then I have one of these IPR water filters, and I'm cleaning it out, and you can see I've already cleaned out a bunch, but you can see that it actually does collect crud. So I'm in the process of cleaning that out, and it has a reusable filter, so you just hose out the filter good and stick it back on. Got to clean out this. You see here's some accumulation of gunk there. Clean out this thing here. Slight accumulation in there, not much. But yeah, so if you were ever wondering if coolant filters work to save your oil water heat exchanger up underneath here, it works. Okay, let me finish this up here. I just got to finish cleaning out. See, there was a bunch of crud here and a bunch of crud here, so it does accumulate. All right, let me get back on it, and I will finish cleaning this puppy up. But yeah, water coolers on all your diesels, or water filters, very good idea. All right. Okay, so I have pretty well finished cleaning out this coolant water filter that is supposed to protect the oil coolant heat exchanger up under the engine there, and or in the valley, right down in there. Anyway, so you can see here, remember before there was a bunch of coolant in the bottom of this, and now I've got it all cleaned out, but there was a pretty good amount of sand in there. I was surprised how much. So that sand, had the filter not been here, would have ended up in my oil cooler and clogging that. So here's another thing too, is here's the cap for the filter here, and this is a magnet, and on the inside of it, it had a whole bunch of, you can see where I cleaned it all off, but it had a whole bunch of iron, I presume, from the engine accumulated in there and stuck to the magnet. So now I am going to stuff this thing back in there. No, did I put that on backwards? I might have put that backwards. Stupid. I don't know. Which way does it go? This way? Or that way? No, it goes this way. So that means it goes there. Okay, and then this goes over and on like that, and as I say, this filter is cleanable and reusable. What a concept. Okay, now this, I believe, went like that, and that is a spring that holds the filter down, and you can still see on this these white streaks. You know, that was other stuff that had accumulated in the filter and the filter housing, and I cleaned that all out. So now here is the filter cap, and I'm just going to put this right back on. See if I can get this. This very nicely machined aluminum. Okay. Okay, let me get my croissant wrench and finish tightening it down. And I imagine it goes to where it stops. Okay. And you can see we have seated flush flat down there. So we will open up the valves again. Yeah. And so we are all connected. So now the next thing I have to work on is I drained out the coolant from the system here so that I can pull off the degas bottle, reservoir, or whatever you want to call it, and inspect wiring on the left side of the engine here, all the injectors, and then get a voltage reading on the FICM to see if it's at 48 volts. And the FICM is right down there. You see that little critter way back there where you can't reach it. So I got to pull, there's a little cover on there that I got to pull off and then get the voltmeter on it, and I have to see if it's a 4-pin or a 7-pin, but it should read 48 volts. Okay, let me get on it. Okay, we are going to test the FICM voltage now. Got a multimeter here set to DC volts, and you put your negative lead on the negative battery terminal, and then you're going to put your positive lead on the far left connection here on the 4-pin FICM. Okay, now turn the key to the on position, and you can see that the reading is 50.2, maybe 50.3 volts. So we have a good FICM here. Well, actually it's dropping down to 49.8. But the voltage is good, 48 or more. So the FICM is okay. Key off. So since the FICM is giving a good reading, then that means the problem lies somewhere else, which might be in either with the fuel pressure or with the oil pump. So now I'm going to have to figure out how to get my fuel pressure, and what I might do is get the blue spring upgrade for the fuel. Blue spring goes somewhere on here. Then the other thing I gotta do is finish digging around with the wires in here. You can see there's anything to mess me up. You can see the cables plugged into the injectors on the side of the head there, and then there's some other wiring here. And if you look down there, you can see a black plastic round thing with a zip tie on it, and that's holds the wire harness up and in position. And several of those have not been used on this engine, so I've been going around and correcting not having the wire harness attached properly. And you want to make sure you do get the wire harness on all those things so that it is suspended up and away from the engine block, so it doesn't get hot, cooked, or vibrated and have the wires chafe and get short circuits in there as the insulation rubs away. So anyway, that's the next step to figure out why injectors 1 and 8 are not firing properly. So stay tuned for more exciting stuff. And hopefully the camera won't mess up again.